Hello there, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Muhammad Yusuf, and this is TVS News at 5. Let us begin with our top story. An Indonesian woman was found dead in Batu Kawah on Sunday, May 29th. Police believe she was a victim of an armed robbery, as several personal belongings were not with her when the body was found at her rented house. The victim was found with a slice on her neck, which the police believe was inflicted using a sharp object. The discovery of her body was tragic, as it was the victim's 5-year-old daughter who came weeping to a nearby shop while reporting the incident. Investigations are currently ongoing under Section 302 of the Penal Code, and at the time of her death, the victim was 35 years old and running her own business. The police have also contacted the Social Welfare Department (JKM) to sort the custody of the victim's daughter. Members of the public who have any information relating to the incident are urged to submit a report to the case investigator, Inspector Hamzah Morni, at 019-866-0796. Dato Sri Nancy Shukri is prepared to face the upcoming 15th general elections if she is named as a candidate to represent Gabungan Parti Sarawak (GPS). The minister's promise is to bring about more development, especially that which relates to the digitalization of economies in Sarawak. Despite her aspirations, though, the final decision rests in the hands of the state premiers, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg.
Untuk menjadi calon ini bukan menjadi hak kita untuk mengatakan saya mau menjadi calon. Itu terpulanglah kepada Premier yang menjadi pemimpin kepada parti kita, parti GPS dan juga parti PBB khususnya. Jadi siapa yang akan menjadi calon terpulang kepada beliau, melihat dari segi performance kita dan juga melihat dari segi dan sokongan orang kepada kita. Jadi bukan kepada kami sebagai wakil rakyat sekarang ini. Kita hanya menjalankan tugas.
Nancy spoke when met by the press after the launching ceremony of the Gawai celebrations in Batang Sadong. A new port will be established in Gedong to export agricultural products directly from the area. The Premier of Sarawak and Gedong Assemblyman, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, said the state government has planned several development projects to be implemented soon.
Kalau kita ada pelabuhan port baru, jadi barang kita boleh kita ekspor. Jadi bermaknanya Gedong dekat dengan port, dengan airport, dua-dua. Jadi kalau kita bisik tanah, kita mansang majukan tanah, food security untuk makan.
Elaborating further on Gedong's development, Johari disclosed that the constituency will have a new district office to enable better governance. Johari spoke during the Gedong Manta Gawai ceremony that took place at RTC Multi-Purpose Hall in Ulu Gedong. At the same time, the Premier has also approved an additional allocation of 400,000 ringgit to be utilized by Gedong's branch of Unit for Other Religions, Unit 4. This was following the rise in price of construction materials to build the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Kampong Batu Pengasa and St. Mark Chapel in Gayau. The initial allocation for both projects is 500,000 ringgit. 37 Rural Transformation Programs (RTP) under the Ngema constituency have been approved with a total allocation of 5 million ringgit. According to Ngema's Assemblyman Anyi Jana, a substantial amount from the allocated sum will be used to construct facilities that are much needed in the constituency.
RTP kebanyakan untuk bagian infrastruktur seperti tapak rumah, jalan, parit, water supply dan sebagainya. So, kita memang menumpukan infrastruktur sebagai fokus kita untuk operasional kemas.
Anyi spoke during the Ziarah Ukas program in conjunction with the Gawai Dayak celebration at Rumah Aji Nanggatada in Kanoit on Sunday. During the same event, Anyi also disclosed a total of 1.1 million ringgit had been allocated for the first phase of the Ngema's Minor Rural Projects MRP.
Untuk MRP, jadi setakat fasa pertama ini telah diluluskan 1.1 juta untuk menerima. Jadi di tengah tagaknya tadi ada 9 JKK lah yang telah kita agihkan terlebih dahulu. Jadi untuk fasa 2 baki daripada yang masih belum diagihkan itu nanti kita akan coba usahakan dalam masa terdekat inilah.
Thank you for staying with us. Now on to some global updates. Bad weather has been hindering search efforts to find the missing plane that went off the radar in the mountainous area of Nepal with 22 people on board. Helicopters were deployed to the last known location of the plane but have yet to find any wreckage.
Tara Air spokesman Sudarshan Batula gave an official statement from the private airline company.
त्यसमा चाहिँ 19 जना प्यासेन्जरहरु मध्येमा चाहिँ 2 जना जर्मन नागरिकहरु हुनुहुन्छ, 4 जना इन्डियन सिटिजन हुनुहुन्छ र बाँकी 13 जना चाहिँ नेपाली नागरिकहरु हुनुहुन्छ। अहिलेसम्मको हाम्रो इन्फर्मेसन चाहिँ त्यही छ र अहिले पोखराबाट जोमसोमको लागि उद्धारको लागि गएको हेलिकप्टर मिसिङ साइटको लागि खोज्नको लागि गएको हेलिकप्टर पनि वेदर बिग्रेको कारण फर्केको अवस्था।
The plane had taken off on May 29th from the tourist town of Pokhara, some 125 kilometers west of the capital Kathmandu, for Jomsom, a town about 80 kilometers to the northwest.
पोखराबाट जोमसोमको लागि बिहान 9:55 मा तारा एयरको 9N AET कल साइन भएको ट्विन अटर एयरक्राफ्ट 19 जना प्यासेन्जर सहित उडेको थियो र त्यसमा 3 जना चालक दलका सदस्य हुनुहुन्थ्यो र त्यो जहाज चाहिँ उडेको 15 मिनेटपछि सम्पर्कविहीन भयो।
Nepal's weather office had reported thick clouds over the Pokhara-Jomsom area since early morning that day. The country has reported several air accidents in the past where the weather can drastically change quite suddenly in the mountainous area.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited troops on the front line in Ukraine's northeastern Kharkiv region on Sunday, May 29th. The trip marks his first official appearance outside the Kiev region since the start of Russia's invasion on 24th February. The president's office website said Zelensky spoke to soldiers, handing out commendations and gifts.
Держава повинна забезпечити з точки зору гарантій, а міста повинні знаходити класні проекти і знаходити гроші. Тому що на містах губернатори і мери швидше будуть знаходити ті чи інші європейські програми щодо будівництва житла.
Several explosions were heard in the city of Kharkiv just hours after the president's visit. Kharkiv has been subjected to Russian shelling in recent days after several weeks of relative quiet. Russian troops have instead been advancing in the eastern parts of Ukraine. Invading forces appear close to seizing all of the Luhansk region of Donbas, one of the more modest war goals the Kremlin set after abandoning its assault on Kiev in the face of Ukrainian resistance. Armoured Ukrainian vehicles were present near Bakhmut in the eastern Donetsk area on Sunday, May 29th. Authorities had reported Russian artillery was shelling the Lysychansk-Bakhmut road, which Russia must take to encircle Ukrainian forces in the region.
President Joe Biden tried to comfort families in the South Texas town of Uvalde on Sunday, May 29th, after the nation's deadliest school shooting in a decade, as federal officials announced they would review local law enforcement's slow response to the attack. Anger has mounted over the decision by law enforcement agencies in Uvalde to allow the shooter to remain in a classroom for nearly an hour, while officers waited in the hallway and children inside the room made panic 911 calls for help.
The President and First Lady Jill Biden wiped away tears as they visited memorials at the Robb Elementary School, where the gunman killed 19 students and 2 teachers, laying white roses and paying respects to makeshift shrines for the victims. During their exit from the Sacred Heart Catholic Church, a crowd outside could be heard chanting, "Do something," repeatedly. Which later Biden responded to with, "We will." The Bidens were also visiting with victims' families and survivors for several hours before later meeting with first responders. Police say the gunman, 18-year-old Salvador Ramos, entered the school on Tuesday with an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle after earlier shooting his grandmother, who survived. Official accounts of how police responded to the shooting have flip-flopped wildly. The U.S. Department of Justice on Sunday said it would review local law enforcement response at the request of Uvalde Mayor Don McLaughlin. The Texas visit is Biden's 3rd presidential trip to a mass shooting site, including earlier this month when he visited Buffalo, New York, after a gunman killed 10 black people in a Saturday afternoon attack at a grocery store.
Now, many Indians were struck with panic when its authorities withdrew a warning not to share copies of the National Biometric Card, as it contains a unique number that is tied to one's fingerprints, face, and eye scan. Known as the Aadhaar card, many fear that it could lead to a surveillance state, though it aims to block theft and leakage in India's welfare scheme.
On Friday, May 27th, authorities issued a warning of a possible misuse of an edited Aadhaar card via its copies, where unlicensed private entities such as hotels and cinemas were collecting and keeping copies of the Aadhaar card. This caused panic, and the matter went viral in mere seconds, becoming a top 10 trending topic in India on Twitter. Fast forward to Sunday, May 29th. A new statement said the Aadhaar ecosystem had adequate features to protect the identity and privacy of users, and they should practice normal prudence when using the card. The Unique Identification Authority of India further assured users that it is near impossible to impersonate an individual if the Aadhaar card is used to prove one's identity. Previously, in 2018, India's Supreme Court upheld the validity of the Aadhaar, but flagged privacy concerns and reined in a government push to make it mandatory for everything from banking to telecommunications services.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally, just a click away by heading on to our website at www.tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. Time we have for TVS News at 5. I'm Muhammad Yusuf. Thank you for watching.